Hey gaming fans, so I got another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. I'll probably be doing a bunch of these because, this is the point where I'm actually having to rebuild a lot of decks and, going back through the previous decks that I used to play. I just want to rebuild them, see how they do, and then start making improvements to them with obviously newer cards that have come out since then. But this was kind of the deck that I played. This has been modified slightly. So this is Battling Boxers. They're kind of fun. They have some kind of weaknesses and stuff, and they're not the most strongest deck out there, but they're a fun deck to play. Anyways, let's get to the deck. This is the extra deck, so I'm just gonna put it over there. So the first card that I play is one Battling Boxer Veil. When you take battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, gain life points equal to the damage you took. So it's kind of like a tries to keep you alive for at least one more turn, and it's a Battling Boxer monster. And with this deck, you want to get as many of those guys on the field as possible, so you can XYZ, or XYZ, however you want to say it, into your monsters. But yeah, this guy's okay. I kind of put him at 1 for now. We'll see how it goes. This one, I play 2 Battling Boxer Counterpunch. Now, the whole idea of this one is it's kind of like almost like the Honest of the deck. If you've ever played light decks, Honest is a card you could discard from your hand during the battle phase and then pump up a monster. He's not as strong as Honest. He only jumps the monster up by 1,000 points, but in most cases that's going to be enough to get your monster over the attack of whatever's coming at you or whatever you have to attack. So it's okay, and it's level 3, which is unfortunate because it doesn't really work with the strategy that I'm working with here. There is a rank 3 Battling Boxer, I believe, but I don't use it. He's not that good. At least I don't think he's that good. Anyway, so the next one I'm going to talk about here is 3 Battling Boxer Spears. These are okay. Spar. Spear. If you control a Battling Boxer monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, you cannot conduct your battle phase for the rest of this turn. So, it does stop your battle phase this turn, so you can't attack for game or anything like that. But in the early game, he's perfect because you could summon a level 4 and then special summon this guy and then go into your rank right away and set up your board. So I definitely want to go with 3 because you want to increase your chances of getting him on your opening turn. The next one is Battling Boxer Headgeared. He's kind of like your I guess you want to say he sets up your graveyard for things like Monster Reborn and stuff. So when this card is normal summoned, you can send one Battling Boxer monster from your deck to the graveyard. Once per turn, this face-up attack position monster cannot be destroyed by battle. So hopefully if you play him on turn 1, you could send a Battling Boxer from the graveyard, from your deck to the graveyard, and then he'll live during your next turn if your opponent doesn't spam the field, that is. But there's a reason why we want to send a Battling Boxer to the graveyard, and we'll get to that. So that's 3 of those guys right there. The next one I play is Battling Boxer Shadow. And this guy's like probably the strongest one, I guess. Well, that doesn't have any drawbacks to being so strong. He's 1800 attack. During your main phase, you can detach an XYZ material from Battling Boxer XYZ monster you control, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. So he's kind of like an extender. You get him on the field. He counts as a Battling Boxer. He's level 4. Pretty decent card. The next one I want to go into, probably one of the best ones, if not the best one, is 3 of the Switch Hitter. They're weird names for these guys. Switch Hitter. So when this card is normal summoned, you could target one Battling Boxer from your graveyard, special summon that target. So this is what I was talking about with the Headgeared. Sending a Battling Boxer to the graveyard sets you up for this play. So basically you normal summon him, you special summon one from the graveyard, and then you can go into your rank 4 right away. you cannot special summon other monsters to turn you activate this effect, except for Battling Boxer monsters. So you can't really use them with other Xyz monsters outside of the Battling Boxers. But that's pretty much what you're going into in this deck anyways. And the last three that I play is just your heavy hitter guy. He's 2000 attack, level 4. Unfortunately, he's got a drawback. When this card is targeted for an attack, you destroy it. However, when this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, which would be his own effect if they try to attack him, you can target a Battling Boxer monster in your graveyard except for himself, and add that target to your hand. So you can add back your switch hitters or your shadow, or you'll probably go for your switch hitter, and then you know, next turn you could normal summon, special summon this guy back, and then go into your XYZ play. So that's pretty much what you want to do with those guys. And those are the only monsters I play in the deck. Now on to the spells. So I play, right now, I want to try Upstart Goblin. Just one, because you can only play one in the deck anyways. It's your, like, gives you 39 cards. Reinforcements of the army, they're all warriors. So take your pick, probably your switch hitter, or the guy that sends them to the graveyard. Foolish Burial, again, one of in a deck. All these cards you can only play one of in a deck. Again, it sets up for your switch hitter, sends a monster from your deck to the graveyard. So, very good card. And sending them to the graveyard, then you can Monster Reborn them if you need to. And if you don't have Monster Reborn, hopefully you'll have Battling Boxer Spirits, which is pretty much the Monster Reborn for their archetype. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, big deal. Then target one Battling Boxer monster in your graveyard and special summon that target in face-up defense position. And you can only use one per turn, but that's okay. Most cases, whatever you summon, you're going to use it for Xyz material anyway. Then I go on to something like Raigeki, just as a, if I need to clear the board, perhaps my opponent has set up a pretty big board, I need to get rid of it. Right now, I'm still playing the Mystical Space Typhoons. I know this is kind of old school. People aren't really playing this anymore because a lot of people aren't playing spells and traps, but that could change. And there is, decks out there that use a lot of cards that could be really, painful if they have it on the field. And then I also play 2 Forbidden Chalice. And the reason why is I want to prevent monster effects as much as possible, because I want my XYZ monster to be powerful and not be destroyed by some monster effects. It also gives a 400 attack boost if I need it. Plus, if I really want to, I could play it with my Glassjaw, the one that when he's targeted for an attack, I could actually chain this to that and negate his effect. He becomes 24 and he doesn't die. So it's kind of a okay card for this. So after that, let's go to the traps. So like I said, I don't really want to see monster effects happening. So I'm playing Lose 1 Turn. Sort of like a skill drain card. It's pretty good. Activate this card only if you currently control no special summon monsters. So yeah, you gotta worry about if you have your Xyz out there, you're not gonna be able to activate it. But I don't think he's gonna stay around that long anyways. During the turn, a monster is special summon, negate its effects. If effect monster is special summon in attack position, change it to defense position. So, your opponent can't spam the field with their special summon monsters and go for game if this is out there, because they're all going to end up in defense mode and their effects are all going to be negated. It just kind of slows your opponent down. I play some cards to try and stop my opponent from doing things. So I have Skill Prisoner, same idea. I talked about this in my Lightsworn deck. Essentially, this if your opponent targets a monster, you can activate this, or you target this card and your opponent's monster effects have no effect on it. You can also banish this from the graveyard to get the same effect. So you can kind of use it twice. I got a bunch of other things like field clearers, like Torrential Tribute for now. Which is okay because the XYZ monster is immune to those. Next thing we have is a bunch of counter traps. So let's start with Jolt Counter, which is the archetype counter trap. So during the battle phase, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated while I control a Battling Boxer monster, negate the activation, and if I do, destroy the card. So essentially, if I have this phase down, I can go into my battle phase and not have to worry about pretty much anything. I can stop it. Solemn Warning. I have 1 in here for now. I don't know if I'd bump that up. And then 3 Solemn Judgments, which is just like basically to say no to anything. Kind of like your Jolt counter. Just to prevent anything from happening, any shenanigans from the opponent. So this is a pretty trap-heavy deck. But yeah, so the final piece of this deck is definitely the XYZ monsters. So this one I think is the best one. This is the one I usually pull out. Battling Boxer Lead Yoke. 2 level 4 Battling Boxer monsters, so you can only make him within the Battling Boxer deck. If a Battling Boxer monster you control would be destroyed, including himself, by battle or a card effect, and this is why I like having a lot of negation, you could detach 1 XYZ material from this card instead of destroying it, and then when that happens, he gains 800 attack. Unfortunately, it detaches material, so you can only use it twice, but that's okay. As you can see, he's got 2200 attack. So once he uses his effect once, he becomes 3,000. And then after that, he becomes 38. So he gets really big. And there's the other one here, number 79, Battlin Boxer Nova Kaiser. I don't know if I'd go into this one as much, but once per turn, you could attach a 1 Battling Boxer monster from your hand or your graveyard to this card as an XYZ material. It's too bad the other guy didn't have that effect. This card gains 100 attack for each of those monsters attached to it. When this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card effect or by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Battling Boxer monster in your graveyard up to the number of XYZ monsters this card had on it and special summon those targets. So they get rid of him, then they have to deal with however many materials were underneath him, pretty much. So if he had 3 or 4 materials under him, he dies, you special summon 4 monsters. Next turn, you can go into 2 of these bad boys. Right now, this is it for my extra deck. I know I can put in a lot more, but like I said in previous videos, I don't, right now, the extra deck is not too important. You can pretty much fill it with what you think the deck will work. A lot of XYZ monsters, but these are the main ones. Yeah, and like I said, this is a work in progress. This is always work in progress for my decks. I don't tend to sit there and say that this is the perfect build. But yeah, anyways, this is my Battling Boxer deck, and I played it in the past, and it's kind of fun. Let me know what you think, if you have any suggestions, or I'm not sure if new cards have come out since I just got back into the game, so I haven't really explored that. But definitely, if there are, I'll have to look into that. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Throw some comments down below. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.